Good day, everybody. Welcome to today's video. This is Jerry from BackCountry Wrenching. Today we're going to look at this plasma cutter from Bestarc that they sent me. Do I need another plasma cutter? No. Do I use the plasma cutter that I got already? Definitely not. But we're going to have a look at this one because it's apparently the 7th generation. What does this bad boy have to offer? Latest IGBT inverter technology, safe torch connection, high quality cutting torch with quality cable, industrial application, tolerant to variable power supply, quality air regulator with preset air pressure, suitable to cut all electrically conductive materials, lightweight, compact, strong metal housing. What's in the box? One plasma cutter, one torch, one earth clamp, 2 tips, 2 electrode, 1 air hose. Here's the Bestarc right here. Looks like it has a digital panel up front, which I really like. You can make your adjustments. It's got your regulator in the front, which is pretty cool. That's a bonus part because in the back, I like it set up. I just plug my airline in. No external regulator that I had to add on or whatever, have you not. 220 does come with an adapter to 110, has an air hose, ground clamp. The good thing is that the torch head is the same torch head as my other plasma cutter, so it will work just perfect. Get this torch head out. So the only thing that's different with this torch head is I think the way that it screws in. So we're gonna screw that in. Looks like we got a positive here. I'm gonna thread that in like that. And we got our little connection. Perfect. Let's have a look at that torch head. That makes it easy for cutting. Well, first things first, let's plug her in, let the smoke out of the wires. Well, that's a good sign. Haven't popped the main breaker yet. Always nervous to power something on for the first time because you never know what the quality control's like, so let's see what happens. Something's powering up. Ooh, that's kind of fancy. Look at that. Look at that. Air 05 though. So Air 05 is low or no air pressure. Oh, that's how you set the air pressure. So air pressure needs to be in the green. So if we turn it down too much, we're in the red. So green tells us that we're good. That tells us that we're too much. So let's go over the rest of the features here. So if you have it on 2T, I gotta press the trigger and hold it for it to work. Now if I put it on 4T, I press the trigger, hold it till it starts cutting, release it, it'll keep on cutting, and then I have to press it again to have it stop. I don't think it really matters which way you go. I can leave it in 2T. So then with this button right here, we got your amperage. So say if you're cutting 3/8, depending on the plasma cutter, should be around 40 amps. Now we got post time. I got it set for 15 seconds, so that's the amount of air it'll blow after it's turned off. And then pilot arc, we can go up to 15 seconds. I'm gonna put it on 7. Pilot arc is that you don't have to have the contact to touch the metal to get it to go. It's really good if you're cutting rusty metals and whatever have you not. So I'm just gonna set it in the middle there. Yeah, and that's how this sucker looks so far. It's pretty fancy. I'm pretty impressed with it. We're gonna have to start cutting some metal and see how well it really works. Well, we're finished looking at this thing. Let's take it outside and see if we can cut some metal. So I got a big failed project from a long time ago. I'm going to stick over top of the fire pit, and we're going to test this thing out. And there's also some old wood at the bottom, so we're going to see if we're going to start a fire. Sometimes I use it in the garage, but using a plasma cutter in the garage is not a very good idea because you can start a fire with the sparks going everywhere. So we're going to see if we can cut some holes in this. What is that, like 1/4 inch? Well, that's obviously a lot thicker. We're going to have to buff something off. So we got a ground clamp on. So we could do some cutting. We got some various stages right there. We got some larger metal, thinner stuff. Let's get to work. I do need to make a good ground. Does have the pilot arc. So now we're gonna power it on. See if our setting stayed from yesterday. It's flashing up. We gotta turn the air on, get rid of the air. I always turn this little valve off, otherwise it just bleeds out. Now the air should be gone. So it looks like settings have been saved. 40 amps, 2T cut. Let's see what we can do to this. Safety trigger, make sure the hose is out of the way. Hot damn. Wow. Hot damn. Cut through that like it was butter. Let's try this, it's a little thicker. For that, we're gonna need at least 50 amps. We're still green. Not as clean, but I was a little bit sloppy as well, but she still cut it. Yeah, we got some 3/8 action there. A little bit of fine tuning, we'll be able to slice through that like butter, but I'm gonna cut some more holes in that main plate there. Turn this back down to 40 amps. This one is such a baddie. Look at that. So you can see on the screen right there, it says 220 volt. The fan is on. You can clearly hear the fan. 7th generation. And this thing is super impressive. Fresh out of the box, first setting. Cuts are clean. That is wicked. So as I said before, this is the same torch head as my other plasma cutter. So all the consumables I have for it will carry on to this one here, which is nice. I don't have to buy a whole bunch of new consumables. This is what I set it up for, to cut that 1/4 inch, 40 amps, 64 PSI. We're in the green zone. 2T, which means I press the trigger once and hold it, and I cut and release, and it stops. And of course, I got my post flow set up for 15 seconds, which cools the torch head. I am more than impressed with this unit. Can't run the plasma cutter and air compressor at the same time, so I got like enough air to make one more cut before I drop below 100 PSI. As you guys can see, this is a painted surface. Got the pilot arc. Impressive. You never want to turn off the power while it's running its cooling cycle. That's how you damage it. Gonna pull the air off. Gonna come back around to the front, and we're gonna see that air pressure code right there as it shows up. No air. I am super impressed with this unit. Just cut this 1/4 inch flawlessly like it was butter, which is probably about the biggest thing I'm ever going to cut. Come down to the 3/8 here, cut a chunk off that 3/8. I could fine tune it, have it cut a lot smoother, but nonetheless it still worked. Pure awesomeness. That's what that is. This is where we find out if the fan is timed or not, but either way, if it doesn't turn off after 5 minutes, I'm gonna shut her down, because we got +6 outside with that fan running. It should be cooled down in like no time at all. So right now the fan is turned off. It is indeed about 5 to 10 minutes for it to turn off. I like how the air pressure, you know, it says 0 and it's got the red bar, and it also has the warning with the air. That is awesome. This thing is kick ass. Yeah, you know what time it is? It's motherfucking beer time. I got asked about how many Chilcoots I got left. There's not many left. They're running pretty thin, but we're gonna have an IPA. Coming in at 6.3% alcohol, Red Truck Beer Hard Day Northwest IPA. We're gonna celebrate this Bestarc plasma cutter. All right, shut her down. It's motherfucking beer time. Good old IPA. I'll leave it for you guys to discuss in the comments. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am pretty impressed with this plasma cutter compared to the other plasma cutter that I got. I'm definitely going to replace my old plasma cutter with this one for sure, because this one seems to work a hell of a lot smoother and cuts a hell of a lot cleaner. I hope you guys enjoyed this short video. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next one. Cheers, everybody. Motherfucking beer time. Shut her down.